Ah, the G-Warrior. Who doesn't love giant robots? This is a unique duty that is part of the Sorrows of Warlick quest line in Shadowbringers. Unfortunately, it is actually a step up in difficulty compared to a lot of the other unique duties that we've had in the past. So I'm slapping together a guide to help a friend out, and if it helps someone else out online, all the better. Let's take a quick look at all the abilities that are added to this unique duty. Aether Cannon deals unaspected damage with a potency of 600. This is your base attack. It's similar to auto attack, except that you have to actually punch the button. Has a range of 40 alms, insta-cast, no cost. Final Flourish combo. This is actually 3 skills in one, each skill replacing the first on the hotbar in succession as they're used. Aether Saber, potency 840, EP cost 300. It also is a gap closer. Aether Cut, potency 1200, EP cost 300. And Final Flourish, potency cost 1940 with an EP cost of 300. Ultima Buster deals unaspect damage with a potency of 1200 to all enemies in a straight line before you. Aether Mine deals unaspected damage with a potency of 300 to target and all enemies nearby it. Additional effect: increases target's damage taken by 20%. This is a debuff on the boss, and you want to try and keep it up on him at all times. Auto Restoration restores up to 40% of own HP and 30% of own EP. This is your recovery. You will be using this a lot. Pyretic Booster reduces cast time and recast time of weapon skills by 25%, increases movement speed by 25%. HP is drained while in use. This is a buff up on yourself, but you need to use it with some caution or else you'll suddenly find yourself with no HP. Ethereal Aegis reduces damage taken by 50%. EP is drained while this is in use. This is a defensive, but you still need to use it with some caution or you'll find yourself without any EP for the rest of the fight. Now let's take a look at how we can combine these abilities to form a rotation. Starting off with Pyretic Booster, we then get Aether Mines up and going to get the debuff on the boss, then jump in using Final Flourish to work our melee combo. Remember to pop Ethereal Aegis when needed to avoid incoming damage from the boss. Don't forget to occasionally turn off Pyretic Booster and do auto recovery so that you can restore HP and EP as needed. Feel free to practice this as much as you want before actually starting the main encounter. Talk to this fellow to restart the simulation. At this point, you should have a pretty good grasp of all the things you need to actually complete this duty. If you want to go ahead and give it a shot, feel free to stop the video here. Otherwise, if you're still having problems, come back for a blow-by-blow of the fight itself. As with our practice in the simulation, we want to start off with Pyretic Booster and get our Ethereal Mine up and going for the debuff on the boss. From there, we actually start working our Final Flourish combo. Keep at it as needed. In general, you want to keep Pyretic Booster up as much as possible, only taking it down when you have a breather, like right now, to get your recovery in, then pop it back up and back into the boss. At this point, he activates little mini versions of the Tribunus, which will do a slashing attack in the direction they are facing. If they are facing out, get to the center. If they are facing inward, get out behind one of them to avoid the attack. Continue with your Final Flourish combos. Activate the Pyretic Booster or heal as needed. Definitely get your Ethereal Aegis up to avoid the Ultima attack. It's gonna hurt. It's also a good idea to have the Aegis up when he does the Swift Breach attack and reappears on the battlefield, but if you're low on EP, you can actually bypass it. It'll just cost you a little in health. Once Swift Breach is done, he's going to do a beam attack. If it is a big orb in the center, he will do a forward-facing attack. If it is two small orbs, one on each hand, there will be a safe spot in the center. Again, use the Ethereal Aegis to avoid the plasma fire as it is undodgeable. During the course of the fight, he will summon adds, in this case 2 lines of turrets. What you want to do is select the farthest turret, and then after baiting their fire away from you, take your Ultima Buster and shoot straight down that center line, and you will take out every single one of those turrets in one shot. Don't worry too much about the self-destruct. It takes a long time for it to go off. At this point, Sapphire Weapon is going to start stacking mechanics. Keep an eye out for which way the mini tribunuses are facing, and get ready to dodge extra AoEs in the process. As always, heal up and get ready to use the Ethereal Aegis to avoid the Ultima. He once again summons adds and then gets ready for a Swift Breach. Go ahead and bait the adds' fire and then get ready to take them out with an Ultima Buster. Heal up and pop your Aegis, because here comes the Swift Breach again. He's decided to do the split beam, so stay in the center to avoid the attack. At this point, it is wash, rinse, repeat until we hit Soften Rage. Make sure your Ethereal Mine is up and going, because you're going to need it for the last big push of the boss. At this point, he goes into Soften Rage and decides to throw the book at us. Focus getting those Silurian Tigers down using your Ultima Buster, and while trying to avoid the fire coming in from the turrets. At this point, you want to make sure your Pyretic Booster is up, because you are in your last big DPS push to get him down before he takes you down. Remember to dodge those turrets, but otherwise ignore them. Congratulations, you just beat the Sapphire Weapon. With all that said and done, I do have to agree with Valdolin. Maybe we should have fired a giant cannon at it. Wouldn't have been half as fun though. If this guide was of any help at all, feel free to give a like or subscribe, and I wish you all the best. Sit back and enjoy the rest of the Sorrows of Warlit storyline.